Bonjour. Nagazay kwani dishni kaz tikdutim. Baskanta baby zebing nadonji. Hello, my name is Deborah Smith. I'm from the Broken Head First Nation. I currently work as the Director of Operations for Shawinimabanuchi. So today I'd like to share a message with my colleagues at Shawinimabanuchi and speak a little bit about what my experience as a female leader, female chief in my community was like, and to share my experiences with you. So I first considered seeking a leadership position in my community in 2015. I was asked by former Chief Tina Levesque to seek the position in 2016. I ran, but I was unsuccessful. What I had walked away from that experience was that I was able to connect with community members and hear what the concerns were and have conversations and gain a better understanding of where my community was at. But also during that election, I saw that I had a lot of support even though I wasn't successful. And so I walked away with that, from that experience in a positive way. I wasn't sad that I didn't win the election. But she came and asked me again in 2017 to consider running in the 2018 election. So I did, and I was successful. And I assumed office in 2018 in April. I think that at that time in my life, I was in a good position to be chief because I had worked many years in the area of community economic development, and I did a lot of work off reserve, so I was able to gain a really broad understanding of community economic development and starting up like small businesses, and so I had a good skill set. I think when I was elected chief and I came home, I understood that it was a great responsibility. I understood that when I accepted seeking the position, but really understood that when I was elected. It was a great honor to be selected by the people, to be their voice, and to be their spokesperson on the things that we all felt were needed and necessary. Being a woman leader was often, mixed with good and bad. We had experienced great successes. I think that my leadership style was greatly influenced by my late father, who was a long-time band counselor for our nation, and he also taught me a lot with respect to what the issues are, what the history of our community was, and really grounded me in what good governance looked like, and how those principles of good governance tied back to our traditional teachings of honesty, truth, respect, wisdom, courage. Because sometimes being a leader, you need to have a great understanding of what is the truth, what is it mean to be a leader and be transparent and be accountable to your people, but also to have respect for your people and to have respect for yourself, and also courage, because a lot of the things that we deal with require that we have courage, because they're difficult conversations, and a lot of the things that we hear when we're in those leadership positions, they are very sad. We have communities that are filled with decades and intergenerational trauma, and we're dealing the best we can with the tools that we have. I also think that being a woman leader, we have the heart of a woman, and we also have that strength of our grandmothers with us, and that really helps at times when things are challenging. One of the great challenges that I had being a female leader was the perception that I was not strong or that I was weak. And I understood that from a different perspective. I understood that as a great disconnect between our understanding of what women's traditional roles and leadership were before the Indian Act and before the chief and council system. Our teachers and our elders and our knowledge keepers talk about the gifts of women. We are the carriers of life. We are the givers of life. But we also nurture that life when that life is born. When we think about the lodges that our people go to seek that healing, to seek that direction, whether it's a sweat lodge, a teaching lodge, a Sundance lodge, half of those lodges are for women. So women were always central to those teachings, to our ceremonies, but even more importantly, that relationship to Grandmother Moon, Mother Earth. We get our water from the moon. The women are the caretakers of that water. And so we have always had the responsibility of providing leadership and the decision making in our communities. The Indian Act had taken that away and basically tried to erase, or its intent was to erase, the role of women. I think sometimes the other challenges being a woman leader was that it's very male dominated, and sometimes it was very obvious that I was in a room of people that were accustomed to hearing these messages being brought forward from men. And it's very sad to say, but I had experienced disrespect from other male chiefs because they had not taken me seriously, or they worked to undermine me and question me. But if I had said one thing and a male chief came behind me and said the same thing, well, it was received a lot differently. However, I had great success working alongside a lot of the other leaders within our organization. When I was chief of Broken Head, 85% of the management positions were filled by women. And I was so blessed and so honored to work alongside of some of the most brilliant women that I've ever met in my life. And I sat at tables with them, listening to them, helping plan with them, and supporting what they were saying that their programs needed. And it was a great learning experience for me, because when we got together around that table and we all put our minds together, great things would happen. And I think that was the best times of my life, was working with other women who were just as strong and, if not more intelligent than I was. And it was a great learning experience for me. I think, when I think about women in leadership, and leaders in general, whether they're chiefs of our communities or whether they're our directors in our programs or our management, I think that we need to look at how is it that we can support that vision and their work. And for me, I think demonstrating loyalty is a big, demonstrating loyalty is something that really helps move our work forward. Being able to put others before ourselves and supporting our leader, because our leader is the spokesperson for the organization, and our leader is someone who is tasked with carrying forward that mandate. So being loyal is important. And when things are going wrong, or when things are difficult and challenging, we need to come to the table offering solutions and bringing ideas that are going to help us move forward. And I think also our communication, being open with our communication, whether these things are hard for us to say, or whether, we need to offer praise at times, because people need to hear that they're doing good and they're doing things well. And that really goes a long way, especially when sometimes it's really challenging and the weight is on your shoulder. Just hearing that positive reinforcement really lifts a person's spirit and helps, carry on and move forward. Taking initiative, bringing forward initiatives, taking initiative and helping, our team members, going that extra mile sometimes to make sure that the job is getting done. Being reliable and being a support, whether it's, showing up and, maybe taking the lead in the absence of, our leader, and communicating and understanding, what that direction is. And I think above all, it goes back to our teachings of respect for our leadership team. But likewise, that respect is a two-way street. So we respect everybody, irregardless of what position they hold in our organization. So unfortunately, I'm not able to attend our staff gathering. I'm attending the Western Canada Fundraisers Conference, and going to look at opportunities to learn how do nonprofits seek funding from other sources. And I think that that's information that's going to come back and help our organization achieve the goals that we're working towards. But I would like to wish you all a fun day. I know that there's a lot of team building activities, and I just want to share the message that we are all in this together, and I look forward to the continued work of Shawena Mebanuchi.